Hey guys, we're here with our first match of the NPL Tryouts. We're going up against YoungMasterLegend and his Mega Gardevoir team. Real quick, we will go over his team. He has Mega Gardevoir, Scizor, Terrakion, Conkeldurr, Hydreigon, Jellicent, Jolteon, Claydol, and Gastrodon. My team, of course, is Mega Blastoise, Jirachi, Togekiss, Heracross, Arcanine, Tyrantrum, Rotom-Mow, Weezing, and Kecleon. The first thing I noticed about his team when I was going to look down the team build, there's an obvious glaring weakness to Fairy and an obvious glaring weakness to Grass. The only thing that resists Grass on his team would be Scizor and Hydreigon. The only thing that resists Fairy is Scizor. So the first thing I put on this team was Togekiss and Rotom-Mow, and I started building around them. So as you guys can see, we have Cupcake, our Togekiss, holding the leftovers with the ability Serene Grace, has the moves Air Slash, Dazzling Gleam, Flamethrower, and Roost, with 252 HP, 56 defense, and 200 special attack with a bold nature. That amount of special attack is guaranteeing the fact that I am OHKOing max HP Scizor with Flamethrower. If he runs some special defense investment, then oh well. He could be EVing to outspeed me and hit me with something more powerful, but because I ran a little bit of defense investment, I can take a couple of bullet punches from the Scizor, even if with the Technician boost. So he can either EV to outspeed me and hit me with something more powerful, or go for bullet punches and get hit with flamethrowers. He gets to pick his poison. Dazzling Gleam, because once again Scizor is the only thing that resists Fairy on his team. Flamethrower handles that perfectly. Air Slash, just to be that guy. Conkeldurr is weak to it. It's my best option for a Bulkymon like the Claydol or the Jellicent or the Gastrodon. And Roost is for my own recovery. It's nice to be able to potentially roost up on like a Jolteon T-Bolt, even though I won't outspeed it, but you never know. So, the next thing we have on this team is Toro, our Rotom-Mow, with the leftovers and the ability Levitate, of course, has the moves Leaf Storm, Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, and Pain Split, with 248 HP, 84 special defense, and 176 speed with a calm nature. That amount of speed is outspeeding every variant of regular Scizor. Max speed Jolly Scizor, so that I can cripple that thing with a Will-O-Wisp and I will always be outspeeding it. I can take a bullet punch like a champ. Base 107 HP plus base 107 defense plus max investment HP. He can take bullet punches really nicely if he wants to outspeed me in that way. But otherwise, he will not be outspeeding me. I will be outspeeding with him, hitting him with a Will-O-Wisp and crippling his Scizor tremendously. He doesn't have a single thing on his team that can learn Heal Bell besides the Jolteon, and Jolteon... Actually, I think Mega Gardevoir also gets it. But again, Mega Gardevoir and Jolteon, you don't often see Heal Bell on those things. They're more of offensive wall breaker or sweeper type mons. Volt Switch is for initiative. Leaf Storm is for the aforementioned weakness to Grass, notably being from Gastrodon, Jolteon, Jellicent, and Terrakion. And Pain Split is for own recovery. Overall, this thing is pretty simple. Outspeed Scizor while some things do its job. Can't bring Jirachi, or can't bring Togekiss without bringing Jirachi. So here we have Superstar, our Jirachi, with the ability Serene Grace and the Choice Scarf. Has the moves Iron Head, Fire Punch, U-Turn, and Heart Stamp, with 136 HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, 116 speed, and an adamant nature. That amount of speed will be outspeeding his entire team. The fastest thing on his team being that base 130 speed Jolteon. This will be outspeeding it by 1 point. So the only things that are outspeeding me are Scarfers that are naturally faster than me. Hydreigon could potentially be outspeeding me. Terrakion, if it's Scarf, will definitely be outspeeding me. Iron Head, because he has a Gardevoir. Because he has a Terrakion. He has a lot of good Iron Head switch-ins, which is why we have things like U-Turn and Fire Punch. U-Turn to get out of there for initiative, Fire Punch to hit the Scizor, and Heart Stamp mostly for the Conkeldurr. There wasn't another good coverage move I can have on it. It was between Heart Stamp and Healing Wish overall, but I ended up going up with Heart Stamp. Excuse me. Up next on the team, we have Amigo, our Arcanine, with the Charcoal and the ability Justified, which is pretty interesting and ballsy. Has the moves Flare Blitz, Crunch, Close Combat, and Extreme Speed with 152 HP, 252 attack, 104 speed with an Adamant nature. Why are we bringing Arcanine? Because he has a Scizor. Pretty simple. Flare Blitz hits his entire team pretty decently, besides Terrakion, Hydreigon, Jellicent, Gastrodon. Actually, that's not very much. But Crunch in close combat can hit most of the things that resist fire-type moves. The only thing that truly walls this Arcanine is the Gastrodon, and I don't think he's bringing it because I have a thing that's naturally outspeeding it and hitting it with a Stab Leaf Storm. It's not going to appreciate that unless it's a Rando variant, and then it's only appreciating it once. So Extreme Speed is just for priority. I didn't want to run like Hidden Power Grass or anything like that. Justified is probably a weird ability. It was between that and Intimidate because he doesn't have a single Fire-type Stabmon on his team. The only Fire-type things he would have is if he had Will-O-Wisp on Jellicent or Mega Gardevoir, or if he decided to run Fire Blast on Hydreigon. So those aren't guaranteed Fire-type moves, so Flash Fire was out. Intimidate helps for the multitude of physical attackers, but overall I think Justified is going to catch him off guard. If he decides to bring Hydreigon and hit me with Dark Pulse thinking it's safe, I can switch into Arcanine, get a +1 attack boost, and kill that thing with a close combat. Pretty easy. The speed investment, I believe, will be outspeeding all variants of Scizor as well, so that I can be OHKOing it with Flare Blitz. Up next, we have Leonardo, our Mega Blastoise, holding the Blastoise-Knight, of course, and the ability Mega Launcher. Has the moves Hydro Pump, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and Rapid Spin. With 248 HP, 252 defense, and 8 special attack with a bold nature. We have a physically defensive Blastoise. This is my best possible switch into Terrakion. I don't have much. This is the most defensive thing on my team, barring Weezing, but Weezing doesn't really match up very well against the rest of his team, so I decided to not bring Weezing. I can live 2 close combats. I can live 2 Stone Edges, and OHKO with Hydro Pump. I cannot live 2 close combats with Rocks. So it's gonna be kind of tricky to play around this Terrakion. Really, the main plan is to be able to sack something off when Terrakion's in my face, OHKO with either Hydro Pump from Blastoise or Iron Head from Jirachi, and yeah, that's the plan. Dark Pulse is to be able to hit the Jellicent, which is the obvious switch into this because of possible Water Absorb, and Ice Beam is to be able to hit the Hydreigon, which would be resisting both Hydro Pump and Dark Pulse. Rapid Spin is to be able to get rid of hazards. I couldn't fit Defog on my Togekiss this week, so we put Spin on Blastoise. I didn't need the extra coverage. It would have been nice to have like Hidden Power Fire or something like that for the Scizor, but overall this set is pretty solid as well. Moving on to the last one on the team, we have Dimitri, our Kecleon, holding the leftovers with the ability Protean, has the move Shadow Sneak, Stealth Rock, Sucker Punch, and Thunder Wave, with 248 HP, 252 attack, and 8 special defense and an Adamant Nature. Pretty simple Kecleon set. There isn't a lot on his... He doesn't have a single Ghost Resist on his team, besides the Hydreigon. And I have a lot on my team to be able to deal with the Hydreigon, so when in doubt, start hitting Shadow Sneaks. It's a really good way to deal with Mega Gardevoir that he probably wouldn't be expecting. In addition, I could not fit Stealth Rock on my Jirachi set this week, so we threw Stealth Rock on Kecleon. Sucker Punch for additional priority. Sucker Punch is more powerful than Shadow Sneak, however Shadow Sneak is more reliable. I get to kind of pick and choose. I didn't need extra coverage this week, so this will be fine. And Thunder Wave is to slow down a lot of things. Terrakion is pretty fast. Hydreigon is pretty fast. Slowing those things down would be nice. I unfortunately cannot slow down the Jolteon because it is an electric type and immune to paralysis. So I can slow things down. In addition, I can use that in tangent with Air Slash on Togekiss and Iron Head on Jirachi to increase my chances of hexing them to death if I need to, worst case scenario. That is the team we are bringing to this battle, and you guys should be seeing the actual battle right now. We'll see you over there later. Alright guys, here we are at the battle, looking at the team that he brought. He has that Mega Gardevoir, the Claydol, the Jellicent, the Jolteon, the Conkeldurr, and the Scizor. Pretty relieved to not see that Terrakion, because I did not have very much to deal with it. So, looking at possible lead matchups, Arcanine matches up pretty well with most of his team, besides the Conkeldurr and the kind of the Jolteon. So, I think I was just going to lead with Arcanine, and when in doubt, I can play it from there. So, we are going to lead off with our Arcanine, but he is going to lead off with the Conkeldurr. I don't want to take a Drain Punch to the face, and I can't really do much to him in return. So I'm going to go into my Togekiss, predicting the Drain Punch, which is indeed what comes out. We are going to quad resist that. It's going to do almost no damage. We're going to get back up to nearly full from our leftovers recovery. This is a perfect opportunity to just go for an Air Slash gauge to possibly find out what kind of set this Conkeldurr is running. With the 200 special attack that I was running, that has got to be some kind of Assault Vest set. I don't think that was fully specially defensive Assault Vest, but Assault Vest nonetheless. So we're going to go for an Air Slash, get the flinch, always nice. It sucks we have to win with hacks, but I'm not going to complain about him. We're going to go for an Air Slash as he's going to switch out into his Jellicent. We're going to miss our Air Slash. That's not a big deal because we will be outspeeding this Jellicent, so there's really no reason to not go for an Air Slash. It's too early to be over-predicting what kind of move he goes for, so we're just going to go for one more Air Slash, get another flinch, which is nice, go for a 4th Air Slash, and miss that one. So, bit of a roller coaster of emotions in the terms of hacks in my favor. So the turn we missed, he's going to go for a Will-O-Wisp. That's fine. I don't mind Togekiss being burned too much. At least it's not toxic or paralyzed, slowed down. So we're going to go for one more Air Slash. Again, there's no reason to not. He's going to switch into his Jolteon. He's going to take that pretty nicely. I was pretty surprised at how well this Jolteon took it. I do not want to take a Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt to the face, so I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Rotom-Mow, which does quad resist electric type attacks. Unless he carries the HP Ice or HP Fire or Signal Beam or something like that, this Rotom-Mow does a pretty good job of walling this Jolteon. So he's going to go ahead and click Volt Switch. There's no reason to not. I don't have a ground type on my roster, so that's an obvious reason to bring Jolteon. And it's free Volt Switches. He's going to go for Volt Switch and go out into his Mega Gardevoir and set up the Substitute. We're going to go ahead and Volt Switch on out because I did not want to be in here against this Mega Gardevoir. Rotom-Mow is too valuable for this team, but to my surprise, this does not break the sub, which means he probably has to have some kind of special defense investment. We don't have any special attack investment, so that kind of helps the combination with it, but I know how to break this sub, a well-placed Iron Head to the face. Unfortunately, we are going to get burned on this play with our Jirachi, but the sub is gone, and the Gardevoir is a little bit less of a threat. Unfortunately, our Jirachi is crippled and won't be able to do much for the rest of the match, but that is okay. We're just going to go for one more Iron Head because the obvious switch into this play would be Jolteon or Jellicent. I have switch-ins to both of those things. So we're going to go for an Iron Head. He's going to choose to switch into his Jolteon. Once again, I'm going to go right back into my Rotom-Mow because I quad resist the Volt Switch. And it's going to be able to take it very nicely. But he actually goes for the Shadow Ball, trying to get off some super effective damage on my Jirachi. So a really good switch into our decently specially defensive Rotom-Mow. More so kind of a speedy Rotom-Mow, but it's fine. We're going to go for a Leaf Storm because there's not much on this team that wants to take it. He definitely doesn't want to stay in with Jolteon. We are going to miss the Leaf Storm as he switches in his Scizor, but that is fine. This is the matchup I wanted. Rotom versus Scizor, so I can outspeed him and burn him. Crippling that Scizor, and the Scizor is not going to be able to do much for the rest of the match, similar to our Jirachi. He's going to set up a Swords Dance, so that's going to nullify the burn, basically bring him back to neutral. So that's okay. We're going to go ahead and Volt Switch on out into our Arcanine, hoping that he would get greedy and go for another Swords Dance, and we can kill him with a Flare Blitz. So we are going to go for a Volt Switch, do a decent chunk of damage, and go right out into our Arcanine. He is going to go for one more Swords Dance, and we can take a Bullet Punch for days. There's not much that this Scizor wants to do, and it's in his best interest to just sack this off as what he does. Charcoal boosted Flare Blitz to the face, and that's quite effective. He's not taking that very well at all. So we're going to go for the Flare Blitz, and he's going to bring in his Claydol. Now, I kind of debated going for a Crunch on this play, but what I ultimately decided to do was switch into my Blastoise because this is a good opportunity, as good of an opportunity as I'm going to get my Mega Evolution off. He's going to go for a Calm Mind on the switch, which was a little bit, excuse me, intimidating, I guess is the best way to put it. We're going to Mega Evolve and go for a Hydro Pump. We do get the crit on the Hydro Pump. Now, this was a roll, nonetheless. Even at the +1 special defense, there was a decent chance I could be OHKOing him with Hydro Pump, but what the crit did would just guarantee that roll. So that's okay. He's going to go into his Jolteon as we're going to go into our Rotom-Mow. He's going to go for a T-Bolt, and once again, Rotom-Mow is going to be walling this Jolteon. The fact that he's not switching up his moves by this point has led me to believe that he is Scarfed. Oh, excuse me, guys. So I'm going to go for a Leaf Storm. Just in case he wanted to stay in with the Jolteon, I didn't want to give him extra health if he had the Volt Absorb ability. So, and that does a really nice chunk to the Conkeldurr, but having this Rotom as healthy as possible is really nice for the Jolteon. So, I don't want to take a Mach Punch to the face, so I'm going to switch out to my Togekiss to take the predicted Mach Punch. He's just going to go for a Fire Punch, and that's okay, because we're going to tank that as well. This is a great opportunity to just fire off a Dazzling Gleam. Nothing on his team wants to take it. And down goes the Conkeldurr. We are up 6-3, about halfway into the match, which is looking good for us. Togekiss has really done its job, so the plan here is, I'm assuming he's going out into his Jolteon, but he decides to go into the Mega Gardevoir, which is perfectly fine. He's going to kill us off with the Hyper Voice. I'm going to sack off the Togekiss so I can get a free switch into our Kecleon. And hopefully he wouldn't be expecting the Shadow Sneak. Even though it's on the stereotypical Kecleon set, I don't know if he would be expecting it. So we are going to go for a Shadow Sneak, and you guys do see the crit. Similar situation with the Hydro Pump on the Claydol. What that did was just guarantee the roll. It was already a roll with our max attack Adamant. Shadow Sneak, it was doing between 70 and 80%. So we would have had a chance to kill him anyways, but what the crit did was just guarantee that chance. Kecleon is a potential win condition, so I don't want it to take the incoming Will-O-Wisp, so I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Mega Blastoise, who doesn't mind being burned, and I can hit it with some Dark Pulses. So we get burned, that's perfectly fine. He's going to go for an Ice Beam as we go for Dark Pulse. I'm assuming predicting the Rotom-Mow to come in, just because Rotom-Mow does a really good job of handling water types. I'm going to go for one more Dark Pulse, and down goes the Jellicent. All that stands between us and victory is that Jolteon. Unfortunately, Blastoise does not have the best matchup against Jolteon, and I don't want to try to over-predict with possible switch-ins and things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and sack off my Mega Blastoise. I know at this point he's got to be locked into a move, Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. I'm assuming Specs because we did no, it could have been Scarf. I don't know. So he's going to kill us off with a Thunderbolt. 2 Sucker Punches from our Kecleon is going to go ahead and clean up the match for us. Oh, excuse me. That is going to be the game, guys. 2 Sucker Punches from our Kecleon gets the game-winning kill on that Jolteon. We have started off this tournament series 1-0, which is a great start for us. Up next, you guys, all these battles have happened by the time you guys are seeing this. So up next, you will see our battle up against Adam the Bee's Knees. But YoungMasterLegends, if he has a YouTube channel, I'm not sure if he does. It will be down in the description if he does have one. Make sure you go check him out. He's a really cool dude. We were chatting in the Twitter chat and all that stuff before the battle and after the battles and while the other battles were going on and all kinds of crazy stuff. He's a really nice guy, so go ahead and check him out, absolutely. But we are going to start off this tournament 1-0. Great start for us. There's my screensaver again. It wouldn't be a competitive league format battle if my screensaver didn't pop up near the end. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Later.